Hey guys, Yankee here, and today I want to be giving my thoughts on episode 8 and episode 9 of Digimon Ghost Game. I am way behind on this show. I'm on episode 8 and 9, and it's at like 24, I think, just came out the other day. So I've got some catching up to do. These two episodes were good. They were good. They were both good episodes. Like, I don't think there's been a bad episode so far. Episode 8, I think, is just sort of... how do I put this nice? It was a fine episode, but I don't think it is very memorable, really. I don't... not much happened. So basically, episode 8 is... the cast goes to a little go-kart track, and then there's Digimon racing there, and the... basically ringleader of this little race is Sistermon Seal, which is neat to see her get animated. Her entire existence is interesting, but I'm not going to get into that really. So Sistermon Seal is running this race, and she had a genius idea to invite a Digimon called Metal Phantomon, who I don't think I'd ever heard of until this episode. And basically, Metal Phantomon just runs around at the back of the race, and whoever he passes, he kills, basically. We don't really get an explanation of what happens to them. I figured by the end of this episode, hey, Metal Phantomon's defeated, everyone's back, hooray, because that's usually how... I don't even want to say usually how, but that's how I would think an episode like this would happen, how it would resolve. That doesn't happen at all. The race happens, a few Digimon get killed by Metal Phantomon, and then the human characters, Hiro... oh boy, I gotta remember their names. Hiro, Ruri, and Kyoshiro, they're racing along too. Well, actually, Jellymon's racing, and Kyoshiro's just in the passenger seat, which is funny. And the Digimon with Sistermon Seal have sort of been forced into this race, and there's not really anything they can do about it. She went off on her own and inviting Metal Phantomon to race and got them all involved. And eventually the humans decide to basically trick Sistermon Seal into fighting Metal Phantomon. And so I'm like, okay, they'll fight. They'll either... Sistermon Seal will win, Metal Phantomon will... or they'll both lose, and then all the other Digimon will be free. Nope, that didn't happen. Black Gatomon that we saw at episode 1, I don't think we've seen him since then, just pops up with a rice cooker, opens it, and then a portal to the digital world appears, and all those Digimon just go through. And that's the end. It was neat to see the Black Gatomon pop back up. So we don't really know anything about him yet. It was interesting to see a portal to the digital world appear. But that's sort of it, right? The whole episode feels pretty throwaway, except for that little bit where I think something interesting's happening. I want to know more about the Black Gatomon. I want to know how he has that portal to the digital world and whatnot. I know he's related to Hiro's father in some way. I don't know how. So that was the only really significant part of the episode. The rest was fine, but not really anything noteworthy. Episode 9, we see the return of Clockmon, which... everything, Clockmon just screwing with Hiro, right? Messing up his sense of time, so where he'd go out with his friend, and then before he gets to the dorm, hours have passed, and he just doesn't know where it is. All that stuff was great. We head off to some library, and we meet two new Digimon characters who are just, hanging around. Bokomon and Tapermon, which apparently, in Japanese, is called Bakumon. I didn't know. So we meet them, and they're just hanging around the library. Bokomon is a scientist. He's just reading and studying, and Tapermon is his assistant. So we meet them, and that's interesting. They go on they go and explain sort of how Digimon interact with the human world and the different forms they can take, not necessarily evolutions. I'm not talking about that, but like their states. So like we see like invisible, where anyone that doesn't have the Digivice can't see them, or where they sort of like make themselves visible, like Mummymon did or Clockmon did in the first episode. So they sort of explain that, which is cool. I'm gonna be honest, I kind of don't. It didn't really stick with me. The one bit of the whole explanation that stuck with me was like, I guess this is a thing that Digimon can just learn. I don't. Maybe they said it was specific to different Digimon's like evolution like levels, stages, right? There was one part where Bokumon says like to sort of speed up their ability to get to like a more solid stage. Some Digimon will just come and mess with humans and try and do that, and then Ruri specifically references Dracmon, which he has not come back yet. I hope he comes back soon. So anyway, we get like a little bit of information here, some lore, learn about how Digimon work in the real world a bit, and then everybody leaves except for Hiro, who is there talking to Bokumon and Tapermon, and asking questions about like his dad. Like Bokumon doesn't know how a human would get to the digital world. Even says something like he would have got burned up trying to go in. So here's a prediction. I want to throw a prediction in. I think Hiro's father is just like, his body is just gone and he's just like a digital being now. Which won't have any like significant bearing on him, because we see in this episode that like a Digimon can solidify and basically become like normal, like they're just there in the world. So even if he is a digital being, it wouldn't be like a huge impediment in his existence in the human world. But it's something that I think they might do. And then finally towards the end, Clockmon shows up. He's just been screwing with Hiro the whole time. Gammamon is gone, and then he's trying to get revenge on Hiro. And then Hiro clicks his little watch, his Digivice, and basically brings them to the weird, like, I forget if they had a name for it, but like the little in-between stage in the world, in like the digital world, right? The fields. And when, I don't know if we had established this before, it's been a while since I watched those previous episodes, but like when he does that, like the whole world apparently changes, because like Bokumon and Tapermon are brought in. The rest of the main cast, who are just like not even at the library anymore, they're off at like a cafe getting snacks. Like the world around them changes and they're brought into it. So like I don't really get how the fields work specifically. Like I don't know if like it's a specific area, so it's like everyone within like this many miles is now in the field. I don't know if it's like clicking the button just brings you everyone that can go to like this new like world. I don't know. So they rush to go help Hiro. Tapermon attacks Clockmon and does like actual damage, because he has a holy ring, which I didn't remember that. But it's neat that they brought that up, because I remember that being a really big deal in, what was it, the second season? But anyway, Gammamon shows up, attacks Clockmon. Clockmon decides, alright, I didn't want to mess with them, because last time I tried to steal his time, bad things happened. Whatever, I want to steal his time anyway. So he hits Gammamon with his hammer again to steal his time. And bad things happen. Evil Gammamon evolution, who I don't remember the name of. I think it's Gulus Gammamon. I'm still trying to learn all the names of all Gammamon's evolutions, so forgive me. He pops up for 2 seconds. Everyone doesn't know what they're doing, and he just basically throws Clockmon's attack back at him, so now Clockmon is rapidly aging. And Hiro decides to help him, which I don't mind that Hiro decided to help him. My problem with this episode is entirely in, well, one, how they help, which is just ridiculous, and then sort of how quickly Clockmon turns at the end, where he's like, I want revenge. It's like, well, I can't hurt humans anymore because you helped me. it's a kid's show. I can forgive some things. I'm not a huge fan of that. Um, and the way they save him is just ridiculous. Like, all right, Bokumon, you're a professor. How do we stop Clockmon from rapidly aging? You got to turn the little clock on the hand on his clock, bring it backwards, and that'll give him his time back. Okay, that's fine. And also, like, him rapidly aging was done interestingly, but I think I wish they would have gone a bit further with it, where, like, he's getting covered in rust, and, like, there's a point where the arm on the clock body, not on his actual human torso, just crumbles off. Like, that was cool. I wish they had done a bit more with that. But basically, all right, turn the hand on the clock backwards. That'll stop the aging. All right, here's how we're going to do it. We're going to digivolve, and we're just going to smack him a bunch. And then the hand is just going to start going backwards for some reason. I don't know why that worked. I don't know how that worked. It was goofy. Um, like, I don't know how you would do it better. I think, I don't know, just like putting your hand on the actual clock hand and then having to rotate it, and maybe like digivolving would have helped them be able to do it better or something, or like since Gamamon was the one doing it, maybe having him digivolve would have made it so when he touched Clockmon's like rapid aging, he wouldn't then turn into the evil Gamamon evolution, which I believe is called the Ghoulless Gamamon. I don't know. I just think that was handled kind of goofily. I think most of the episode is great. Everything, like all the Clockmon stuff with him screwing with Hero was perfect and actually kind of unsettling. Like, it wasn't scary. The show hasn't been very scary because it's a kids show. Like, I'm not expecting a whole lot. It's been creepy, and I think this has been one of the creepier episodes. Like, just standing. Like, there was a scene where Hero was in his room, and Gamamon walks up next to him and says, "Hey, what's wrong?" And then, like, mid-sentence, Gamamon is now asleep on the bed and, like, hours have passed. Like, that's weird. That's not, like, that's unnerving. I think that was done really well. I don't know when Clockmon's coming back. I do like how we have a lot of recurring characters in this show, and they seem to come back, or at least I hope they're going to come back frequently. Bokumon, I'm sure, will pop up again. He's like a scientist, so it's like, we don't know what to do, let's go talk to Bokumon. Still waiting on Mummymon to return. Now we've got Clockmon, who will maybe return to help out at some point. And Dracmon, he's still there doing whatever. Overall, these were two fine episodes. I think episode 9 was stronger and just sort of fumbles the end a little bit for me. Episode 8 was fine, has some interesting stuff right at the end, but for the most part, the episode is just sort of there. But yeah, this is a good show. I don't know why. I have a really bad habit of just, like, enjoying a show and then just stopping. So I don't know. I'm going to try and get caught up, hopefully. But we'll see. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.